All right, so do you guys remember that scene in The Pursuit of Happyness where Will Smith's character saw that car, the guy driving the car, and he was like, that's what I want to do. He knew at that moment that that's what he wanted to do and pursue in his life. I'm curious to hear about your moments like that. When did you know exactly what it was that you wanted to pursue in life, these ventures that you guys have all invested your time in?
I think when me and my wife started our business and I saw just the joy that she had, and and it was really not really at the event itself, it was after the fact and talking about it and kind of debriefing on the whole situation. She wasn't like that when she had to do her reports on a Sunday night. She was engaged in it and couldn't wait to do the next one. And obviously seeing those pile up, and I was like, you know what, that was in maybe mid-year of 2019, during paternity leave and maternity leave, when we kind of worked it out to do it at the same time. So it was really just the mounting up of that, and kind of debriefing and seeing kind of the joy she had. And then after every week, prior, seeing her like, oh, I got to do this report. There were great perks with that, but combination of everything in that sense did not equate to what I saw, like her being fulfilled.
For your business. And what is your business?
So what we do, it's a Re-Wax and Unwind candle making party studio, where you make and take your candle. You come in with your friends, you come and bring your own bottle, wine, whatever you need, friends, you connect, and you kind of do that over candle.
And I did it. It's
You
fire.
did?
It's fire.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it twice.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yes.
It's in Jersey City?
Jersey City, yeah.
Oh, I will be there.
It's right there.
And we can bring our own bottle, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got that, Henny?
Bottle.
Oh, well, I feel better.
A little couple's night. Sounds like in the making.
I like it.
What about you, Fred? Or did you have anything to add to that?
I did, and I'm not sure you know this. So I've always had an entrepreneur spirit ever since I've been in high school. I've always felt the need to have my own, and I admired entrepreneurs. But when I met your parents in 2014, and I'm gonna tell you guys, they are the most successful people, entrepreneurs, full-time entrepreneurs I know. 40 years. He started at 27, now he's 70, still running the business in Manhattan and in Queens, and so admiration that they're still going. And he's like, this year, he's like, I had the best year ever, right? Like, just like he keeps going his drive, and your mother supports your father. And I just love that. And at that moment when I met them, I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. And like, now they're my family, so they're gonna give me those resources. But it was definitely your parents.
I didn't know that.
I know.
Check it out. What about you, Fred?
I would say my moment was, and probably wifey don't know this either. It was when I'm originally from Kansas City. So Kansas City is a small town, very, very small. And it was one day I was just going through something, and I just finished college, and then I was trying to figure out my next move. And I was just like questioning myself a whole lot. And I went to sleep, took a nap, because you just gotta take a nap. Sometimes you just gotta rest on it, And I woke up, and I don't remember leaving my TV on, right? So I woke up to an interview that Denzel Washington was doing. And he was literally in this interview, I can't find it anywhere, but in this interview, he was literally talking about his faith, and then where he is now and the trajectory of it. And just, he was like, for anybody that is out there, just, you can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Like and for me, I was just like, is this for me, Lord? Like, is this for me? I was like, this is it. Like, and then from that moment forward, I started looking up conservatories, film conservatories. I'll probably say like months later, I auditioned for a conservatory and I got in. And the rest is history. That was the moment.
Must have been your sign then.
Yeah.
Where was it going? I know, love Denzel.
He's the one.
When I originally moved to New York, back to New York, we were living in Pennsylvania and I did college out there. Came back to New York and I was like, I want to be a celebrity makeup artist. and my celebrity was Beyonce. I want to work for Beyonce and do her makeup. Well, that didn't happen, but I went into like corporate positions, and my last corporate job, the CEO, he started his company from the ground up, and he always talked about that. And there was a meeting that he had me spearheading, and I was leading it, and I was asking everyone to dig deep for their why. And as I'm encouraging everyone, I literally quit 2 weeks after that. I literally was like, why am I here? Because I was still freelancing. I was mainly in wedding and bridal. And literally at that moment, I'm encouraging them. There's a room, they're all looking to me, and I'm teaching them about understanding your why. And I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. And that's when it clicked to me, and I was like, I'm gonna take this leap of faith. So that's when it like clicked.
Dang, okay. I know, because here they thought we were discussing the why, you know, this is gonna keep everybody here, but she actually left. She's like,
no,
deuces.
she's gone.
Right?
Pretty awesome.
It hit me, yeah.
Yeah, people reflecting on what did she say her answer was? What was her why? Okay, the moment. I am originally from St. Louis, so
Hey, next door! What up, cousin? What up?
but I did grow up a little bit later in Atlanta and then moved to here in New York. And I found myself living out of my car with my best friend. And we had a whole routine, you know, shower at the gym, go out into the city, work brand ambassador jobs, go to acting class. We had a whole routine. At night we would put covers or whatever we had over the windows and go to sleep. So I'm not sure if it was being uncomfortable in the car when we would go to sleep at night or what, but sometimes I would just stay up and put something on my phone to watch, whether it was Insecure, you know, Issa Rae, or Chewing Gum from Michaela Cole. I absolutely love those two creators. And I'm watching it, and I had this inclination to take little notes about what happened throughout my day, little funny things, because I'm a very optimistic, kind of bubbly person. I'm a glass half full lady. And when we eventually got out the car, I had all these notes and I had all these scenes essentially that transpired throughout this very rock bottom of a time of my life. And a friend of mine suggested, like, you should probably put this into like script format. Like, I don't know if you know how crazy what y'all just went through was. And that was the moment that I put my experience in the script format, and I fell in love with writing. And so that was my aha moment from a rock bottom moment to like, oh no, this is what I want. I want to tell stories. This is what I want to do. I want to make things out of experiences and have people be able to see themselves. So yeah, that was my aha moment, from a crazy, sporadic, seemingly dark time to just how I handled it. So shout out to Issa and Michaela.
And shout out to you.
Yes.
You know, you handle that very well. It's funny, storytelling, you know, that's what I like to do as well, but I think mine is more from like a news reporting standpoint. And I think my aha moment was less of a moment in time and more of like a process of elimination. I could think back to high school. I hated history. It was all white. I didn't like math that much. I didn't like science, but when it came to English and, you know, language arts, it was like when I got to speak in front of a crowd, it was like, I'm trying to make you laugh, sad, happy, knowledgeable, all these things. And so when I finally went to school, studied broadcast journalism, and then I had an internship at NBC, I met Lester Holt. And I remember I emailed him a number of times and he didn't have time to meet up. But finally he said, I have 5 minutes before this thing, like stop by, we can connect. And I had just a cool conversation, like, how'd you get here? You know, tell me more about your journey. He's a reporter on NBC News, Nightly News. And so I remember walking away so happy. And then I ran into HR and she was like, wait, what are you doing on this floor? Like, you're on the 6th floor, why are you on the 4th floor? I was like, oh, I just had, you know, a quick chat with Lester Holt. She's like, oh my gosh, you're an intern. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And I was like, oh, my fault. You know, she's like, yeah, don't email anyone, like do your job. And I remember going back to my desk and emailing like 5 more people, right? Because anytime you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And then, you know, flash forward to today, I think, you know, throughout that journey, there's just not a whole lot of Black men that I can look towards who are just doing the news and doing the news in a way where it's relatable. I think sometimes folks just do it in the way they think they have to do it. And so I'm always trying to figure out a way, how can I see myself in the news, think about the younger Marquise. And so it's kind of built up to where I'm at today. And I always say, if, instead of talking to some older politician, I'd rather talk to like Cardi B about Bernie Sanders, right? Or something like that. So bridging kind of culture and politics. But it was an aha over some time for me.
And that's so needed too.
How you gonna finish it up?
How am I gonna, the pressure. The pressure, okay. Well, so like you, I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, whenever there was not an opportunity, I found myself looking to create it for myself. So when I was younger, we had a dance group and You Got Served came out and there was no dance groups like that. So we made our own. In college, when I used to like be into the party life, I, started hosting parties that led to a career in event planning. But I had this idea of having conversations with men about dating, but it was to get the male perspective before everyone but us. Yes, I'm gonna say that, all right? It was called What Would a Man Do? And I produced this whole show. We'd have these panel of men come on along with me and my co-host. And so at one point while I was doing that, still working in event planning, one of my friends like you said to me, because I was over my job at this point, and I was like, yeah, what am I gonna do? Can I career switch? Because I always remember a friend saying, I love my job. And I was like, wow.
You can do that?
Yeah, exactly. You could do that. Like that could be life. And so thankfully another friend, shout out Tracy, shout out Sasha, she said, well, why don't you just be a producer? That's what you're doing now. And I'm like, aha. So I literally took that show, wrote up my resume and sent it into my first job. And that's how I got the starting job as a producer.
Awesome.
And then on hosting too. I used that same thing as a reel to do red carpet coverage on camera.
But don't forget, you was doing it for Little Saint at first.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm like, who's Little Saint?
Never forget that.
You Got Served, y'all.
Remember
Oh
where you came
gosh.
from.
You right.